What's up, champ?
Yeah. What's going on, brother?
Thank you so much for doing this interview. I really do appreciate it. I'm doing well, and I hope you are also.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you letting me come on your show, man.
Of course, a pleasure to have you for sure. So I'm just going to ask you some basic questions, and you're just going to tell me your answers and your thoughts on them. So the most obvious one, all your fans have been wondering, are there any potential dates being looked at? Do you plan on returning anytime this year?
I'm hoping sometime this year. I'm just waiting for my advisor Al Heyman and PBC to get me back on and give me a date.
100%. And are there any particular fighters that you're looking at, any prospects you want to get in the ring with, or you want to get a quick tune-up before that?
I don't want no tune-ups. I just want to go straight to the A side fighters, the top champions in the welterweight division. It's hard to get some fights right now. They say I'm a high risk, low reward, whatever that means. As an athlete, as a boxer, I never came across all these topics, and there's a new era that's coming up, and it's embarrassing for the sport.
So I called into Cano Loco's show and I even asked about that question, of the new era and these fighters. Do you feel that these fighters nowadays are a lot more soft and not willing to fight the best as often as in the previous eras?
I won't say only soft, but they're not fighting for the love of the sport. They're just doing it for the money. Um, at the end of the day, you're supposed to go out there and give the fans what they want, exciting fights, and I believe the champions are not doing that right now. They are handpicking easy opponents just to make money and to keep the undefeated records.
Well, we do have a great fight happening tomorrow and some great fights on the way. It's on everyone's mind. I know you're fighting at 147, but what's your thoughts on Taylor versus Ramirez, and who are you picking in that one?
That's gonna be an interesting fight. Taylor's getting a little cocky right now, and Ramirez is real laid back, low key, and it's gonna be an exciting fight. Similar styles, but at the same time they're not similar. I like Ramirez on that fight. I guess he's gonna be undisputed after this one.
And that's a great fight in the sport. And we need more fights like that. We need more real fighters in that league, in that crop. I want to ask you, you represent Brooklyn very well. I can hear in your accent. You always have fought in the Barclays many times. What's it like representing Brooklyn, and what does it mean to you?
Being born and raised in Brooklyn, man, is a atmosphere that only I guess a Brooklynite can experience and appreciate. A lot of people go to Brooklyn and I'm like, man, like this place is crazy. But again, if I go to a different city or state, whatever it may be, I might feel the same way they feel. But when you're born and raised there, man, Brooklyn is a phenomenal place to come from, and I've represented to the end.
My dad actually lived the first 40 years of his life in Brooklyn. I only lived about 4. I'm from Bensonhurst, actually. What part of Brooklyn are you from?
Well, I was born in East New York and raised in Williamsburg. Now it's considered Williamsburg, but back then when I was growing up, it was the South Side.
South Side. And in
Yeah.
Brooklyn, you had one of the best wins of your career. You got this confident, cocky Victor Ortiz calling everyone out. Looking past, thinking he's a beast. He fights you in Brooklyn. You put him away in 2 rounds. What was that experience like? What was it like getting one of the best wins of your career in your home city?
Man, let me tell you that place was electric that night. There was nothing but Brooklynites there, and it was a great experience. Like I said, going into the to that fight, Victor Ortiz was real cocky in the press conferences. I believe they overlooked me, and that night just showed for himself that I'm a problem in the welterweight division.
And you still are a problem in the welterweight division. That's why I don't see, these prospects, these up and comers. They're not saying your name the way they should, and hopefully do get that big opportunity in the future. You fought many elite fighters and actual Hall of Famers such as Ricky Hatton and a few others. Who do you think is the best fighter that you've ever faced in the pros?
Man, it's hard to say because like you said, I fought so many greats, but I wish I had the opportunity to really prepare for a fight the way I prepared for the Ortiz fight for all my fights. But unfortunately, that my career didn't go that way. I was always a short notice type of fighter. But I would say the Shane Mosley fight was tough, and the Mia Khan fight was tough because I had to lose 15 pounds the night before the weigh-ins, and then the Shane fight because I broke my thumb in the second round, and to be able to go to 12 round to decision with Shane Mosley was just, for me at that time, was a phenomenal experience.
For sure. And we've seen you show heart in the past. Even in your last fight against Abdul you had an awful cut, like a really bad cut. What does it take to endure that type of pain and keep going and keep pushing yourself?
I think having the love for the game and the heart that it takes to really be in it. You know, I don't do it just for the money. Yes, I fight for money, but I do it because I love it and it's in my blood.
Now, what do you think is your identity as a fighter? Now, when it's all said and done, say 5 years from now, what do you think people are going to remember you as a fighter? What do they think? What do you think they're going to remember about you?
I hope they remember that I just didn't care. Like I was down for the get down with whoever, whenever, because that's the type of fighter I am. I'm a old school fighter, and man, I hope I'm remembered something good.
Now, what was it like winning a title for the first time? It's every fighter's dream to at least be a good fighter, let alone win a title, which is something not many have said that they've done. Many top fighters in the sport today still haven't won a belt. What was it like, that experience being a champion for the first time?
It was a phenomenal experience. Going to the champions' hometown in Worcester, Massachusetts. Not only alone was it was only a 2 week notice call, but to be from Brooklyn to achieve that big man, I can't even explain it, but it was just phenomenal. That experience is something that is hard to explain. Just to be present and feel that experience is just phenomenal.
Now, when it comes to being a champion, you were actually in talks to fight a champion recently, a year or two ago, with Terrence Crawford. You said in the past that he didn't really seem like he was into that fight. Can you explain from your point of view that whole situation?
Well, actually, I was supposed to fight Terrence Crawford last year. Top Rank sent me a contract. I signed my part of the contract that said, all right, so we're gonna get to Terrence Crawford now, and for he could sign his part, and then we can make the fight happen. But Top Rank never, they couldn't find Terrence Crawford. He never signed his part. Everything was agreed except him. He didn't sign the side of the contract, so the fight never happened.
Do you feel that he didn't want to fight you?
Absolutely. To this day, I'll be calling him out on social media and no response.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. At least answer. Don't pretend that you don't hear him, because I know he hears those call outs. I know he hears.
Absolutely.
Come on.
And not only that he hear it, but I'm tagging him into the post, so I know he's getting them.
Now, how'd you get into boxing? What was your story, your upbringing that really made you fall in love with this sport?
Well, to be honest, as a kid, I didn't like the sport. I found it too hard. I had no rhythm as a kid, but my dad was a big fanatic of the sport. I was into baseball I started when I was 10, and it took me a couple of months to adapt to enjoy it a little bit. But as time kept going and progressing, I picked it up and I loved it, and here I am, 30 years later.
Definitely a fun story, 100%. As I mentioned earlier, you fought many fights. I believe you have about 47 fights, something in that range. What do you think was your best win and your best moment so far?
Um, my best win, I say, when I won the world title the first time, because like you said, a lot of fighters fight, but they never got the opportunity to win a world title, not alone fight for a world title.
Mhm.
But I would say the Victor Ortiz fight because I won it at home, and to win that fight at home for the WBA international title was just another milestone in my career.
And what makes the Ortiz one really good, not just that it was at home. You barely got touched because it lasted only 2 rounds. He talked lots of trash, and he's a big name, Victor Ortiz. Everyone knows who Victor Ortiz is. And when he got knocked out in 2 rounds, I don't think anyone in recent years has stopped him that quick. So that really did surprise a lot of people. Who are some of your favorite fighters in the past, and some of your favorite fighters currently in the sport at the moment?
Well, back then I used to like watching Pernell Whitaker, um, Alexis Arguello, Roberto Benitez, Hagler that just passed away not too long ago, and Trinidad. I got to fight under his undercards a lot because me and him was in the same had the same promoter, Don King, and he was just a phenomenal person and real humble. And when I met him, I said, this is the type of fight I want to be. I want to be able to interact with my fans and those that support me.
And if you can make one mythical fight, any fighter that you've seen ever fight against you, mythical fight, which fighter would you want to fight?
Right now, that I know is possible is the Danny Garcia fight.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a great fight. Maybe have that in the Barclays. Danny's fought in the Barclays multiple times anyways, might as well.
I'm saying I think it'll be a sellout within a couple of days, and especially for the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
It'd be a great fight, and I'd definitely be looking forward to it. Well, anyways, thank you so much for doing this interview. It was really fun, and I appreciate you hopping on. Can you just link people, any of your social medias, and where they can find you?
Well, they can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Real Luis Collazo. Like I said before, they can write me and I'll write them back, and that's just the type of person I am. I don't ignore any comments, or I don't ignore any texts. You can just write me. Feel free. I'm a humble, low key individual, and I appreciate it.
It was great having you. We'll be rooting for you in the next one. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.